Welcome everybody to the 2020 actually Consumer Electronics Show known as the C.E.S. To answer your question, I've actually been coming here for over 40 years. Kind of used to what goes on over here. Seemingly, a lot of Orthodox Jews kind of got themselves into the electronics business. You know, one person starts it, a lot of people copy. Most of us here come from the East Coast, from the New York City, New Jersey area, and everybody seems to have gravitated into electronics. And the older people teach the younger people come, generations go on, and here we are. We're fortunate that we are able to stick together. We're fortunate that we're able to pray together. Ideally, if we were able to get a conference room like we get at some of the other trade shows here in Las Vegas, like the ASD show that we have twice a year, I was hoping one day that the CES people would actually grant us a room based on the amount of people that are here, but we manage. We have our morning prayers off-site, usually in a hotel. We usually get about 50 people. We bring a Sefer Torah, so it's almost like being at home. Those of us that stay here over the Shabbat as well arrange for food, arrange for meals, arrange for prayer service. So it's almost as good as being at home, but we're away for the most part from our wives. Once the show is over, we're actually delighted to get back home. And whoever's here, I hope they've had a successful show, and I hope everything works out for them.
Many Syrian Jews live in Brooklyn. Brooklyn has had a spate of anti-Semitic crimes on the subway, on the streets. In fact, what's happening in New York City with regard to anti-Semitism?
It's very unfortunate that over the last couple of weeks there's been about a dozen incidents. I think sometimes an ignoramus person might say, I saw someone else do it, so I might try it also. You know, evil feeds off of evil. On the other side, I'm happy to report that the state of New York, the city of New York, the NYPD, and everybody associated, even state police, are becoming extremely vigilant. All of our houses of worship now have guards in place, professional security guards. They're armed. And even on the interior, a lot of the congregations have taken it upon themselves to have their own congregants actually become partners with the security. They're trained. There are classes that are being given. So, and I think some of them actually may carry some deterrence with them. I'm not sure if they have firearms, but they certainly have mace. They may have other things available to them to be a deterrent. But everyone is being vigilant. It's something unfortunate. It's been around ever since the world started, but I think it's passed. I haven't seen much of it in the last few days, so hopefully we won't see any more of that for a while to come.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are lots of Haredim, Hasidim walking around bravely. Do you wear kippas at the show?
Some people do. I think it was suggested recently that if you're in an area that has no Jewish people at all, that you could become a target. I think some of our rabbis may have suggested under conditions where you could become a target, it might not be such a good idea to advertise that you're an Orthodox Jew, because something might not, those are very rare instances. I mean, if you're walking in a really bad neighborhood and it's late at night and people are looking at you, you have to use your own judgment. But we're proud Jews. We're proud to wear our tzitzit. We're proud to wear our yarmulkes, our kippahs, as we call them. It's something that we're delighted to have because we are children of Borei Olam, and he wants us to behave in a proper manner. And all of us have to do the right thing in the eyes of the public because we're being watched. Jews is news. That's it. If a Jewish person does something, it goes straight to the front pages of the New York Post. So we have to be careful. We are ambassadors for our religion. We are ambassadors for our people. We are ambassadors for our country. We always must think that we have to do something that is Kiddush Hashem, Chas v'Chalila, never something like Hilul Hashem.
Do you feel any resentment from secular Jews?
Absolutely not. I was brought up that we should judge everybody favorably. We should be kind to everybody regardless of who they are. And that's why my parents brought me up. That's why I brought my children up. And I think if we all do that, and if we just show a lot of respect to Jews as well as non-Jews, I think the world would become a better place.
Do you feel that there's a future for Jewish people living in Brooklyn?
Are you kidding? A future? You know, I'll tell you something very cute. In my neighborhood, in Midwood, Flatbush section of Brooklyn, if a person wanted to eat treif as taref, you'd be hard pressed to find a restaurant, because every single restaurant, hundreds of them in the neighborhood, are kosher restaurants, and some of them very fine. People go out there, very enjoyable dinner, as good as anything can get any place. So Brooklyn has a great future until the day that Mashiach comes and he tells us it's time to leave, it's time to go to our homeland. Let's go back to our Eretz Yisrael, back to Yerushalayim. Until then, yes, Brooklyn is the place to be.
Is there something in particular that that the Jewish mind works well with? These kinds of high-tech, specific photo and camera issues?
I think anybody that puts their mind to anything can become a professor in what he does. I think it's just a question of putting in the effort, learning what it is. I don't think the Jewish mind is any better than anybody else's mind, and I don't think the Jewish businessman is any better than anybody else's, and we don't want to be labeled that way. We want to be labeled as equal to anybody else. Put an effort into something, get the right education, you can become proficient in anything that you choose to do.